Welcome back to our second week of reviewing the HBO Watchmen series. You may have noticed that Josh isn't here. He had a previous engagement. He had to be on Mars, I think, for something. But that's okay, because I'm here, and I'm going to cover my favorite moments as well as some predictions. Some very solid predictions. So, right off the bat, this episode starts with another historical event, another actual real piece of American history that isn't as widely known as it probably should be. The letter that was dropped on US soldiers by the Germans was a real letter, and what they had read from it was verbatim. Like, that's real, that actually happened. And it's incredible that this show is using these events from history in a comic book TV series. Like, this is a show that I didn't expect to deal with this kind of subject matter. I am really excited to see where this is all going, because I think they are setting a theme up here where every episode is going to start with something from the past that is going to tie into the greater story in some way. They're not just picking these things out for no reason. They're not just grabbing these things because they're like, oh, I think more people should know about this or that. There's a greater purpose here, and I'm excited to see what it is. Another thing that we see right away is Squid Conspiracy. Last episode, Josh and I talked about how the squids are going to be this conspiracy that gets unraveled, and that the government is actually keeping it going and they're faking the squid drops, and then they just talk about this right in the beginning of the episode. So the fact that that happened makes me think that I might be wrong about my squid predictions, because they wouldn't just have characters saying what is happening in the second episode. The fact that they're giving that away, that they're already going there, it's probably something else. So I don't know where we're going with the squid stuff now. I don't know. Another thing we mentioned during the last episode was that the police were kind of set up as the good guys. But here we see them attacking a small populace with no evidence. There's no evidence, there's no proof, there's nothing tying that murder to this group of people other than their suspicions and their past. They're going on a hunch, they're assuming they did it, but there's no reason to go and just beat the crap out of everyone with no cause. And Sister Night can see that this is not right. But even so, when she gets attacked, she beats this guy into submission far beyond what is necessary, because she's angry too. And showing that anger is something that I think is also going to play into her greater story, because we see Angela and we see that she doesn't cry after the White Knight. We see that the most emotion she shows beyond beating people up is banging on a door a few times. So she is bottling things up. You can't compress all these intense emotions without them just exploding at some point. I love Will. Will's an amazing character. I love that he is dropping little tidbits and clues for Angela to figure out. But, Will, you told her, if I just straight up told you what was going on, it would melt your mind. We, the audience, you're promising a mind-melting, just brain-exploding twist and reveal. That's pretty big. So I hope the show can deliver, because my one fear about all this is that it's going to be just setting up questions and the writers are going to write themselves right into a corner. So, predictions. First of all, Judd is a member of the 7th Cavalry. He was the person who shot Angela on the White Knight. He was the second attacker. Why? Because in the hospital, he tells her, oh, you got your attacker, singular. He doesn't mention another attacker. Why did he let her live? Because he, as part of the 7th Cavalry, organized this attack to not only wipe out the police force, but also build him up as a hero of the police force within the force so that the 7th Cavalry would have a connection, and then the cavalry could go underground or go away and be dealt with. But in reality, they were still active and they were still doing whatever it is that they're planning now, but Judd could act like he took care of everything and he could receive all the accolades for it. He doesn't wear a mask. You know, I wondered why he doesn't wear a mask like every other cop. It's because he's not afraid of them. Not only that, he doesn't want to be mistaken for someone else. Like, if he wore a mask and there was an attack, they might accidentally shoot him. But he keeps no mask on, and all of his boys in the cavalry know, oh, that's our guy. Don't get him. Let him be. It seems at first like, oh, I'm the chief of police. I'm so brave, and I don't wear a mask because I don't need to wear a mask. When in reality, it's just that he's showing solidarity to his fellows in the cavalry. So this leads me to my next prediction, which is going to be 100% true. I guarantee it. Judd, the Judd that was hanging, was a clone because the real Judd was abducted into the flying ship. And the reason that Judd was a clone is because we've seen that Veidt has clones. And when you introduce clones into a universe, anybody could be a clone. Anyone could be a clone. There's no reason that you can't have anyone else be a clone in this world. We've seen they exist. We've seen that Veidt is willing to just burn them alive, to sacrifice them, to kill them. So why wouldn't he make a Judd clone and then hang him from a tree? And that clone would not want to be killed. It would have all the rope burns, and it would be, you know, like they said, he was clawing at the rope. He didn't want to die. Just like the clone that they showed not wanting to die in the fire. It's not a coincidence that they showed him killing one of these clones at the same time that Judd was killed and suffered on this tree. What is the point of just killing Judd? Why not capture him, take him? Or maybe Judd actually isn't a member of the 7th Cavalry and he's part of this also, and he is working with Veidt, because in the first episode he says, "It's my funeral," and he releases the weapons. It's almost like he knows what's going to happen. And he puts on his best uniform before he goes to get hung. He goes by himself, even though his wife told him, take somebody with you. Why does he go alone? He goes alone because he knew he wasn't going to die. He knew he was going to go on that ship. And he knew that the person who was going to die was the clone on the tree. Clones!
That is the dumbest prediction I've ever heard.
Yeah, you know, Josh isn't even here, but he might be right on that one. No, it's definitely clones. It has to be clones. It's clones. I'm telling you, everyone's a clone. Clones. Thank you, as always, for watching. Really appreciate it. We will be back again next week for episode 3. Josh will be back and we will review it together. I can't wait to see where this show goes. And for anybody out there who wants more information, HBO actually has a bunch of PDFs and extra materials on their website. I'll put the link in the description. It's really, really cool. They get into memorandums and news articles. If you're into world building and if you're into little extra details and trying to really puzzle things out, it's great, great extra materials. And major props to HBO and the writers of the show for putting so much thought into this. Really cool, really, really fun, and just adds a whole extra layer to this. I'm having a blast trying to unravel it, and I can't wait to be surprised next week. So, thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time on A Lot of Critics. Buck, what did you think of this episode? He's still undecided.